Good evening, everyone. Would you please rise and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Look this way now. Please call the roll.
Councilwoman Nicholson? Here. Councilwoman Marcotte?
Here.
Councilman Dooley?
Here.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Here.
Supervisor Colavita?
Here. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We have our first opportunity to address the board on a specific agenda item. Yes. You don't have to wear it. No, it's okay. Whatever makes you feel comfortable.
No, I want to set it upstairs.
No problem. That could be an old sign. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
First of all, I want to say that Tim and I were just talking about Police Day on May 14th,
Yes.
so I'm excited to get involved with that.
Good.
So I just had a question about the agenda item, which reads, Resolution finding that the proposed repairs to certain facilities at Leawood Park constitutes a Type 2 action, yada, yada.
Oh, yes.
Enough
We
question.
made an application for $250,000 of grant money from Senator Shelley Mayer's office. And I'm not sure the exact conduit for the funding, but in order for us to consider accepting that, we have to declare ourselves lead and, go through the secret process. But that was for the purposes of corralling that money. The bigger picture is the improvement of Leawood Park. I'm sure you live right there, and it's in bad repair. It needs to be really renovated pretty well. So generally speaking, we don't have a plan resolved yet, but what we're looking at doing is putting a new playground in for the tots, and expanding the parking lot, and then where the baseball diamond is, like relocating the baseball diamond to right field. Like if you're on home plate and you look to the right down the first base line, that's a more suitable area right there because it's flatter, there's no rocks, and it's easier to improve. And then we're going to resurface the tennis courts that are presently there. There are 6 courts there. Going to resurface them, refence them, and then put new sidewalks, from the parking lot, and the railing is all, rotted and falling apart. Have that go right into the tennis court area, and then we're trying to figure out if we can put some pickleball courts, because that's the hot game now.
I know, I want to learn how to play that.
Pickleball, everyone does. Although I did see a friend that we all know who shall go nameless who broke his ankle playing pickleball.
Who did?
A guy, I won't reveal
Oh,
who he
I
is.
thought you
but
said a name, I'm sorry.
I said, how did you break your ankle? He said, I played pickleball like a crazy man. So I said, okay, all right. Anyway, so, and then what we might do, we're considering if we can do it, is maybe just put new backboard, fiberglass backboards, quiet, glass-type black backboards on the basketball court. And of course, we would put some, like decorative lighting on the sidewalks so that people would have, nice appearance like the stuff we have in the town center. And the other thing would be, there's a pathway from Cross Hill to Leawood. A lot of kids used to go to school back and forth. So it's black-topped now, and it's a little gnarly. So what we would try to do is maybe put a 6 or 8 foot poured concrete path right from one point to the others for 2 reasons. First, it's a little neater and cleaner, and secondly, we can put one plow on it, drop a blade, and go right across the whole thing, so the kids aren't, risking broken ankles trying to go to
school, yeah.
And then, of course, we probably put a couple of lights there along that pathway. So we are also working with Sport Time. Sport Time is the tennis concessionaire at Lake Isle. So they have offered to put some money into the pot to do the tennis courts over again, which is, a nice thing. So we're working with them, but we want to make sure that they're not going to garner a lot of time there. We want to make sure that, it's open to the public and for permits for non-sport time people. And, they've been pretty gracious about that. And going along with that, we may increase the rates and extend their term. We're negotiating that all out with them. But that's the basic sum and substance of it, because that park really needs to be paid attention. But one of the things we're very cognizant of is, the wooded area on the hill, and that area that's like in between the north end of the tennis courts and the hilltop. So we want to try and keep that area the way it is. It's a little cut through right now. but
The little
a little wooded
greenery
area, yeah.
there. Yeah, it just
So-
makes that corner pretty.
Yeah, we're trying to leave all of that just the way it is. We did have to take some dead trees down. We got calls from people that were
I saw
concerned.
that, yeah.
So we took a few down, but not a lot. And that's it. And then the only thing we may do also is probably, there's a drainage path that goes from the corner, I'm not going to call it the corner, I guess the round corner of Leawood, in the northeast corner of the park. It used to be a little swampy area, and then decades and decades ago, the town filled it in. But there's a drainage line that goes from that area across Leawood Drive into the stream at the golf course. So we probably would increase that capacity and, draw down more rainwater, because the lower area there where the basketball court is really soft and mushy.
Yeah.
So we're going to try and dry that out a little bit and then just get the water over to Leawood. And, they have a tremendous capacity for water there. So that's the tentative plan, but we have to engineer it out, and we have to iron out our arrangements with Sport Time, and we got to figure out, how far we're going to go. And, of course, there will be all kinds of furniture around, benches, garbage cans. We want to put a little shade area in for the tennis players, because when they're waiting to play, hot summer, it gets pretty hot there. The other idea that Sport Time wanted, but I don't know if it's going to become a reality, is just to put some kind of like little office or a little tennis hut for registration, or people, can get first aid or defibrillator or, something along those lines. I don't know, it's a little soft there, so I don't know if that's going to be a possibility.
Did you say when you're mentioning them that Sport Time is going to be able to have non-residents use it, or you said not?
No. What Sport Time is doing is saying, we have a huge program, and particularly in the summertime, because they have this big summer camps with the kids, and they have the 8 courts up there, but that's still not enough. They're looking for, the program is just
Yeah, so
bounding.
they use it during the,
Yeah, they use
during
it.
the week, yeah.
Right, but see, the thing is, they're using it during the week, and they compensate us for that. But, it's like, the goal, our town board's goal is to make sure it's more available to people to walk up and play.
Yeah.
Or to get a permit from the recreation department to get an hour or 2 hours. So, that's the goal here, is you can, if you want to put some money in, great, but you're not going to increase the hours you have there already. We're not doing that.
Yeah, I didn't hear
The
before.
the other problem we're having there too is, and I'm not a tennis player, but I could see a business transaction when I recognize it, is a lot of people are coming in and they're like coaching on the courts. Like they're taking the court for like 2 hours with like 4 adults, and they're getting paid for their time. And that's not what the courts are about. I'm not sure how long a tennis match is. Sally Veltiti is all up on that. So whatever permit time is commensurate with a round of tennis, or if that's what you call it, a game of tennis or whatever, that's how long the permits would be for. So we don't want to have the situation where people are coming down and, getting paid to teach lessons there. It's one thing if you want to take your grandchild out and show them how to play.
Right.
That's different. But, to be compensated on a large scale, we're trying to avoid that. So.
Yeah.
But that's our idea. That's our concept.
That all sounds absolutely wonderful. So does that mean that a turf field is off the table?
Yeah, we had talked about that. We kind of felt that a turf field, like a soccer lacrosse gridiron-shaped, field, would kind of check all the boxes, and we really wouldn't need that anymore. But then, we're finding out that that's probably something. There's a new lacrosse program starting in Tuckahoe. There's always an expansion of the Tuckahoe teams and all. We're trying to accommodate everybody. But we thought maybe keeping the tennis there, because there's been a lot of our population wants to play tennis. And so rather than compel people to go to Sport Time, we thought there's not really any other place to fit tennis. I mean, maybe we could put it over at Dunwoody, but then the Dunwoody soccer field gets displaced and then would go to Leawood. And so we're not really solving a problem. We're just
Right,
swapping
right.
venues. So we're very much leaning toward this tennis thing. And also, like the baseball area, that would not be for older kids. It would be like the T-ball group. I mean, it would be like if the Labriola Field.
Yeah.
There were 3 diamonds there. The one little diamond in
Is
the
smaller in the way
yes,
back.
in the southwest corner, tiny. It's like right after second
It's
base.
like the T-ball.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we want to confine it to like T-ball minor leagues. Like the oldest kid would be 6 or 7. So, it's not taking up the whole green area. It would be, in the corner, and that would be like the oldest age group to play there. Now, obviously, older kids can go there when no one's on the field, and they can play a little ball there. So, you always got to watch out, 'cause you don't want people hitting balls into the homes there. But for the most part, it's been, I'm not going to call it a toddler diamond, but a small person.
Yeah, it's always been
We wanna
fine,
keep it
just-
that way.
Just bumpy.
Yeah, we wanna keep it that way.
All right, so I guess my main question, because, like last time was a rumor, but there's still a rumor out there that, like pickleball and a lacrosse field, and a turf field. So that was what I was going to come and be mad about, but
Yeah, I mean, it's something we could do, but honestly,
I'd rather not.
yeah, I know, but also, practically speaking, that's one of our largest parks, and we have renovated every single park, sometimes twice. We've done double renovations already, and that park needs attention now. We also had toyed with the idea of putting in what's the round thing you call, not a gazebo, a pavilion. Thank you, Theresa. But, with that,
Brings other
yeah, it might just be a
things, yeah.
hangout, and, you can't see 360 around it, and, I don't know. Maybe it's something we can consider down the road, or if we do it, it'd have to be wide open, so,
Yeah,
and
like,
visible,
yeah.
so officers can pull into the parking lot, look and see if anybody's there. So, that was something we had really thought hard about, and that was the original request for the grant from Shelley Mayer. But, then we realized that, it may not be the best thing to do.
Yeah.
But you never know. So anyway, so we're putting this whole thing together, it's percolating, and we're going to get some numbers from everybody and, extrude it all out and see what we can do.
Okay, it sounds wonderful, sounds beautiful.
Hopefully it
All
turns
right.
out that way, too.
Thank you. I would stay, but I have to go see that thing about Pam, that really weird show.
All right, no,
No, I'm just kidding.
bye now. Very welcome. Okay, next we have approval of the minutes of the March 15th, 2022 Town Board meeting. Any modifications or amendments?
None.
No, there being none, if someone care to make a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, please call the roll.
Councilman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita?
Aye. Law Department report, Mr. Rader.
Yes, good evening. First, I have a resolution authorizing the town supervisor to execute the First Amendment to Agreement of Covenants Restrictions Senior Housing Development Plan, Town of Eastchester, pertaining to the senior housing development at 40 Jackson Avenue and the related Form TP 584, and further authorizing the town attorney's office to cause the First Amendment to the agreement to be recorded in the office of the Westchester County Clerk, Division of Land Records. Just briefly, this was from last year's settlement we had with the senior housing development at 40 Jackson. By the stipulation of settlement, we had to do all this stuff. We're doing it now. Both sides worked it out. Once it's signed, then we have to file it with the county. Just basically amending, as we discussed in the settlement of stipulation back in 2021.
Now, I'll move this. Ask for a second, please.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita?
Aye.
Okay, next, a resolution finding that the proposed repairs to certain facilities at Leawood Park constitutes a Type 2 action under the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, therefore requiring no additional secret review, and that's based on this application, so we don't need to do any secret on this application, as you discussed previously.
Okay, I talked that one to death, so I'll make the motion. Ask for a second, please.
Second.
All right, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita?
Aye. Now, before we advance to number 3, I want to just cut over to item 7C, which is our 2022 capital project requests. And we're asking for the following items. Townwide, we have playground renovations for $50,000, fencing in various parks, $40,000. We have in a highway department, a dump truck for $230,000, a roll-off for $195,000, street resurfacing for $900,000, sidewalk and curb replacement $300,000. That's a total of $1,715,000. And then at Lake Isle, we have some renovations, which is primarily tree removal. The course is mature, and a lot of trees need attention. And also, certain parts of the course are wet, and a little sunshine would be a great thing to add. So they are asking for $90,238 for tree removal, and on irrigation, we're in the midst of designing or asking someone to design for us a complete irrigation system renovation. So the irrigation system design fee is $38,000. So that's our capital budget item. There are, if we do the Leawood project, that'll probably be later on in the year. And also, if we do the indoor pool, that may come to fruition at the middle of the year to the end of the year, so that's not going to be on here as of now. Anyway, so that's what the distillation of all of the requests of all of our department heads. So I will make the motion, ask for a second, please, for the approval of the 2022 capital project item list.
Second.
All right, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita?
Aye. Okay, next, three.
Yes, okay, in
Thank you.
relation to that, then I have a resolution authorizing the issuance of $90,000 bonds of the town of Eastchester, Westchester County, New York, to finance the cost of the playground improvements / renovations within the town of Eastchester, estimated cost of $50,000, fencing, then for various parks within the town of Eastchester, estimated cost of $40,000, which is a total of $90,000.
All right, so moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita?
Aye.
Okay, next, a resolution authorizing the issuance of $425,000 of bonds of the town of Eastchester, Westchester County, New York, to finance the cost for the acquisition of various trucks and equipments, including, first, a dump truck, estimated cost to be $230,000, and second, a roll-off truck, estimated cost of $195,000 for use within the town of Eastchester.
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita?
Aye.
Okay, next, a resolution authorizing the issuance of $300,000 of bonds of the town of Eastchester, Westchester County, New York, to finance the cost of sidewalk and curb reconstruction within the town of Eastchester.
So moved.
Second. Please call the roll.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita?
Aye.
Okay, next, resolution authorizing the issuance of $900,000 of bonds of the town of Eastchester, Westchester, New York, to finance the cost of street resurfacing within the town of Eastchester.
All right, so moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita?
Aye.
Okay, and last, I have a resolution authorizing the issuance of $128,238 for the town of Eastchester, Westchester, New York, to finance the cost of tree removal, estimated cost of $90,238, and also irrigation system design at an estimated cost of $38,000 at Lake Isle Country Club.
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita?
Aye. I just want to thank Dawn Donovan for coordinating that and the board members for their input. It's always a protracted negotiation with everyone in town government, but we distilled the list down to what's necessary. Okay, town clerk's report for February 2022. You can receive and file. Anything further?
No.
Okay, that moves us over to correspondence. We have a memo from the controller for part-time seasonal employees. There's a few people here, just a couple. I'll make the motion. Ask for a second, please.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita?
Aye. Next, we have a memo from the controller regarding the closure of capital projects. And this is a memorandum from our controller indicating that the following projects have been purchased and installed or installed, but there were unused funds. And the unused funds are applied to pay the debt service down for the various projects. We had library lights. We have $0 unexpended, but the project needs to be closed. Library LED lights in 16, that was 15-16, there's nothing left. We have to close the project. Police LED lights in 2016, we have $5,381.57 left. Air conditioners for 2019, $575.03. Highway dump truck in 2020 was $10,805.71. We had no money left over in street resurfacing and sidewalks and curbs in 20, so you have an unexpended amount of $16,702.31, which we will apply to pay the debts associated with the projects on these future budgets. So I'll make the motion. Ask for a second, please.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita?
Aye. 7C we did already. So 7D, memorandum from the Superintendent of Highways regarding permission to go to bid for the 2022 sidewalk and curb replacement projects. And we want to just get out to bid as soon as we can because the prices are only going up. They're not going down. Someone care to make a motion?
I'll move it.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita?
Aye. Next is memo from the Superintendent of Highways regarding permission to go to bid for the 2022 street resurfacing project. And these prices are definitely going up. Any petroleum-based products are through the roof now. So we're going to try and squeeze it out as much as we can. And remember that we are also joint purchasing with some of the school districts and municipal governments that were in town of Eastchester to try to drive the price down for bulk purchasing. Anyway, I'll make the motion and ask for a second, please.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita?
Aye. Next is a memo from the Superintendent of Parks and Recreation regarding permission to go to bid for bus services for 2022 camp season. And, I give a lot of credit to Sally Veltiti. She has coordinated all of this, passenger, air-conditioned school buses for the kids. We are working with the school districts now because, each year what happens is as the school districts do renovations, they advise us that we can't use a facility for this camp or this camp, is no longer able to use that facility. So she's juggling all that, coordinating all of that, and it certainly is not easy. But we want to make sure that we, do as best we can to keep the camps going, because I think the worst thing the parents would want to hear is that, oh, we're not having camp this year, Camp Quest is not occurring or whatever. That would be catastrophic for a lot of families that depend upon camp for obvious reasons. But anyway, with that being said, I want to thank Sally, and I'll make the motion to go out to bid for the bus award for summer camp. Someone care to second that?
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita?
Aye. There being no miscellaneous business, you have council member reports. Councilman Marcoccia?
Thank you, Supervisor. Just a couple of things here. Just on the capital projects, I'm pleased that they all were approved tonight, and we continue to invest in our infrastructure, our parks, and equipment. And as the supervisor articulated, Leawood Park is going to be just a gem when it's all said and done. We still have some work to do there, but in addition to all the other parks that are renovated in the town, it's just going to it's going to be really, really nice, and we're going to get a lot of use out of that. I also wanted to mention that at Lake Isle, the golf course opened on March 25th. It's been a bit cold, but the weather is definitely warming up. But the golf course is open, and both the pool season and the outdoor tennis season begin next month. So register now and get ready to enjoy your summer at Lake Isle. The membership office hours are 9 to 5 p.m. on weekdays and 10 to 4 p.m. on weekends. The early registration discount for resident, family, individual, and junior pool memberships are available through the end of this month through Saturday, April 30th. And finally, the next advisory board meeting is tomorrow night, Wednesday, April 6th at 7 p.m. in the Gaspee Room of Molinos. And that concludes my report.
Councilman Dooley?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Just on the budget, I'd like to thank the controller as well for all the work that went into that. Thanks to the Highway Department, the Parks Department, and the Lake Isle Advisory Board, who actually put forward some of the projects that are needed there. So thanks for your efforts there, and it'll be good to see some of that come to fruition. We look forward to the Leawood project next. And I did sign up for Lake Isle this weekend, so registration is open. So it's, and I did play a little bit of golf, a little rusty, but we'll get there. But looking forward to a good season, and the course looked pretty good, based on, it just opening up and things getting going, so good stuff there. That concludes my report.
So the two-handicapper was a little bit rusty?
It's the 20 handicap, yeah.
Don't bet, no wagering with Joe. Councilwoman Nicholson.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I just have a short message. The Traffic and Parking Advisory Committee will have next meeting is on Tuesday, April 26th at 7 p.m. at the community room. So if you have any parking and traffic concerns, you could bring them on in. I am looking forward to this Saturday's Easter extravaganza, I guess, at the town hall. So I hope to see some happy faces there this Saturday. Thank you. And happy Passover and happy Easter to everyone.
Councilwoman Marcotte.
Thank you, Supervisor. I wanted to do a couple things. I wanted to start off by congratulating Cornell's Hardware Store, which a couple of years ago, New York State began a historic business preservation registry. And Cornell's was successfully nominated and placed on that registry. And they have quite a history in our town, dating back, it was incorporated in 1909 by brothers Charlie and Bailey Cornell. And the roots to the general store go back to the early 1800s. It's been located in Eastchester and Tuckahoe, and the business was eventually bought from the Cornell family by longtime employee John Fix, who started working at the store as an after-school job in 1916. So it's currently still operated by the Fix family, certainly a longtime mainstay in the town, so we congratulate them on their placement of the New York State Business Preservation Registry, so kudos to them. I also wanted to mention the Eastchester Easter event. It's this Saturday on the 9th at Town Hall, 11:30 to 2 p.m. There will be inflatables, food trucks, music, and of course the Easter Bunny, and participants can travel to various vehicles and receive special treats. On the Bronxville front, I wanted to talk a little bit about their Earth Day, which is April 23rd. They'll be celebrating Earth Day in the village, and they're having a special cleanup, which is sponsored by the Reformed Church of Bronxville, the Bronxville Green Committee, and some Bronxville High School students will be on hand. If you are interested in participating in that event, it commences at 10 a.m., and you can meet in the elementary school parking lot where small groups will be formed. You'll be given gloves and equipment and so forth, and you'll be sent out to help clean up the village, so it's a great way to celebrate Earth Day. And then the following Sunday, April 30th, also in Bronxville, they're having the Green Committee is going to host their first ever Compost Give Back Day. This is a mix, if you will, of decaying items and sort of I guess the result of their food scrap collection program, which has been very successful. So this is a great supplement for gardens and all those gardeners out there. I know the town of Eastchester has a compost pile at DPW, so now Bronxville is going to join in that. So if you're available and you want some free compost, it's on the 30th. And then lastly, the Community Fund of Bronxville, Eastchester, and Tuckahoe is currently conducting a needs assessment, and they are looking for residents to take the survey. It's about maybe 10 or 15 minutes. You can take it online, or if you are more inclined to have a paper version, we can get that to you as well. But the Community Fund, local giving for local community needs, they really do depend on input from the community. So it's very important. So hopefully some of our residents will take a few minutes to participate that, because the Community Fund, as we all know, does great things, and this really helps them do more things in our community. And then lastly, just a save the date from the village of Bronxville, May 30th, and I know I'm way ahead of ourselves here, but they will be having their 100th Memorial Day Parade at 9 a.m. on the 30th, and they hope that everyone will join and be a spectator and cheer on our veterans, and many people will be participating. It's a great thing, 100 years to be celebrating. So that is my report, Supervisor. Thank you.
Great. You want to see 10,000 eggs disappear in 15 seconds? Come to the Town Hall front lawn on Saturday. For my own report, I just want to mention that we had another very, very successful Hometown Heroes event, and I want to give the credit to Girl Scout Troop 1531. They hit it out of the park again. You may remember that back in November, we worked with the Girl Scout troop to put together the Hometown Hero Banner Program. And at that time, I think they secured approximately 50-plus banners for people. And as soon as they went up, people were flooding our office with calls. I want to get one for my dad, for my grandfather, for my brother, for my son. And they decided that they would continue the program, and they ended up putting up another 70-plus. So they did almost twice what they had done the first time, more than twice, actually. And, you know, it's great that the town of Eastchester Highway Department has, you know, prioritized this as one of their important functions. And the girls at Troop 1531 did an excellent job during the program. Also, Allison Solano and Marisa Junta, the two troop leaders, moms, also were very instrumental in coordinating this whole program. And I will say that everyone that attended was moved by the content of the program and the whole concept of what was happening there. And afterward, there was an opportunity for everyone to socialize and take pictures with their banners for their families in the high school cafeteria. And everybody, without exception, was moved by what they had just witnessed, and they were so very proud of their banners and of their family members that had served. And it was really very, very, very impressive. And the Girl Scouts did an excellent job working with everybody, and I can't say enough good things about it. It really was heartfelt, and I'm so glad that we are focusing exclusively on those that gave their lives for this country, for armed forces servers, and also for those that returned home, our veterans, of course, that have done so much for this country. And it was just a really powerful event, and I urge you to attend the next one because you will be impressed and you will not be disappointed. Secondly, I want to recognize the Eastchester High School varsity cheerleader team. They placed silver medal in the National Cheerleading Championships. They've also took the Section 1 title this year, and they had a host of other successes on the cheerleading path, and we're going to recognize them tomorrow evening. And, you know, it's a lot of hard work. These girls put a lot of time in, and they really put Eastchester on the map in the world of cheerleading. So we're very, very proud of them, and we will recognize them. A lot of other stuff I was going to mention has already been talked about, so I'll move on to the second opportunity to address the board. Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to address the town board. Not new to what I'm going to say, but I'm truly looking for an update in terms of whether we've had any progress on the cable negotiations in terms of being able to right what was wrong, and whether there's any update in terms of the capability of moving on to the next step in terms of resolving some of the issues that I've previously outlined.
I could update, yeah.
How you doing?
Yeah,
Please, go ahead.
yeah, Mr. Sweeney, about 10 days ago, myself, Councilwoman Marcotte, and Steve Altamura, who was on the committee.
Stephen, yes?
Yes, we met for several hours. I think it was like about 10 days ago. We went over, very painful, but we went over line by line the new agreement they had sent us along with the old one, and we compared what they had put in the new stuff and what they took out of the old stuff. So it took us quite a few hours to do it. What I did after that was I sent a copy of what we had done and sent it to the other two members who could not be there. I'm waiting back for their comments. And Cablevision called about last week asking for a meeting, and I told them that I will get back to them within the next week to let them know when we were ready to meet with them. We did put in language pertaining to your concern about the wires. I wrote a whole big paragraph about it saying, what we expect to be done, coming in, coming out, jobs, stuff like that. And I also reached out to Newcastle, because I believe they just did recently an agreement with Cablevision to see what they did. I spoke to their village manager, and he's supposed to send me what they did as far as what they negotiated with Cablevision. So I'm waiting back on that. And then once that's going to happen, we're going to meet with Cablevision with our committee.
Okay.
That's
That's
where we
great
stand.
news.
Yes.
I appreciate the efforts. I was just trying to clarify a couple of things. This week, or last week, I should say, I saw the DWP people doing some cable work along Route 22 in front of Lord and Taylor's. Is there any update that we may now be able to do that ourselves without going back to the cable companies?
I don't know, I'm not sure, I thought they were erecting the banners. I don't
No,
think
it was
they
in
were.
reference to cabling.
Yeah, I'm not aware of them removing cable. They might have.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything either. You're talking about DPW?
Yes.
As the supervisor said, I've seen them on the trucks putting up the banners, but I have not seen anything related to cable. But I'll inquire tomorrow to Rocco and ask him, but I don't think they're even allowed to do that. So I'll
Are we
inquire.
still at a stalemate where whether we can or cannot move or touch the cables at all at this point?
Well, that's a state road. We don't own that road, so we don't have any control over what's on there. We have very limited access there. That's why I'm pretty sure they were just putting the banners up and not, wiring something or de-wiring something.
I'll call Rocco tomorrow and find out for you, and I'll give you a call.
But the cables themselves are on our telephone poles, our town poles.
Well, no, they're not our poles. We don't own them.
I know.
Those are owned by the state. White Plains Road owns the state, the state owns White Plains Road, and the county owns Wilmot Road, Main Street, Brook Street, and those roads.
Any idea of when we're going to wrap up the final negotiations in terms of being able to get back and take a look at what they've done? Because I'm really concerned that I have a thought here, and maybe something we should consider, is that with all the things going on and now with the 5G coming on board, whether you're considering maybe a CWA manager and able to manage these people, what they're doing on our grounds. These are nowhere near any standards, believe me, for telecommunications. None. And I think we need to tap it up a little bit. Maybe we consider maybe a consultant or maybe someone in the town who be certified, because we need to take a look at what they're doing.
Well,
Going back 3, 4, 5 months is too late.
the superintendent of highways is generally responsible for those types of things. And there's a deputy superintendent of highways also.
Okay.
So that's something that's certainly up there in their lane, so to speak. But, I think if we can get language into the agreement and perhaps also get a penalty clause in, I think we'd be far, far ahead of anybody else.
Well, I do appreciate the efforts in terms of what you're trying to get done. I know it's not easy, but the idea is that we need to take a tighter control for the cabling that's going on, because right now we have add, moves, and changes, and we don't know where they're going on until we produce the report at the end of the month.
Yeah, we're aware of that.
Huh?
We're aware of that.
You need to have it online. You need to know at the time that they're doing it properly. Not a month after they're gone. They don't want to come back. We had the same problem now. They don't want to come back. I'll give you a very specific example. I had a cable company come to my home. I wanted the cable taken down. You know what the reference was? I'll just cut it at the pole and wrap it around the pole and leave it at the curb. That's what they're telling their installers. That's actual fact.
Did you correct the situation?
I corrected the situation. But the idea is that if you don't jump on it, you're going to be in a whale of trouble. Because we now go with the 5G, we need another cable. What are they going to just cut the cable and wrap it around the telephone pole again?
Hopefully not. Hopefully we're effective.
That's why I'm anticipating that maybe we should take a look at whether it's the superintendent of highways or whoever it may be, you get on it real time and not wait 3, 6, 8 months after the fact. And all the things we have. By the way, these cables that are being cut by the cable companies themselves. They're 6 or 8, 10 feet off the ground. There's not anybody in the homes that are going to go up on a ladder in the middle of the street and take these cables down. They're doing it. And they're running for the hills. I hope you've negotiated a good deal in terms of what they're going to do. Hope that they're going to step up and correct what needs to get done. I really do. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
No one else? Someone can make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all. Happy Easter.